Fucking Portland is doing a better job than Minneapolis right now. They should be shamefaced. That's basically Antifa's main breeding ground, I think. Isn't that basically their world headquarters at this point in Portland? Or Oakland or something, maybe? Some of these other locations. It's like it's not as much of a New York thing as a lot of West Coast sentiment, I suppose, and apparently in Minneapolis at this point. I'm not sure that declaring them a terrorist organization will really be helpful, because the primary goal, which could be to go after their money, I just don't see panning out. If anything, you get a bunch of middleman fall guys, money coordinators that'll take the fall, because they know that once they get out of the prison, out of the brig, they get $1 million from George Soros or something. Yeah, it'd be a wonderful world if we could actually hold, the higher level people in society to account. The problem is, and again, I keep going back to this saying, this old Vermont adage, the law is like a spider's web. The flies are caught, the hornets go free. And George Soros and people like that are big fat fucking hornets with big fat fucking dripping venomous stingers. And they want to use those stingers to harm society. Putting another spider's web in their way is not going to stop them. Get the pesticide. Go after their hive, their little horde on the ground, declare them a criminal gang and disperse them. Unmask them and publicly shame them as the rioting thugs that they are, that have at this point nothing to do with George Floyd. You think they give a fucking half a shit about it? They're happy that George Floyd died. It gave them an opportunity to spread riots and violence to dozens of U.S. cities. See, they're actually happy right now. I wonder if these communities understand how much the far left actually fucking hates them and loves it when they suffer. They don't want to take care of police brutality. If we took care of police brutality, what the fuck would they antagonize over? They wouldn't fucking exist. Half of these bored, white, middle-class liberals that comprise Antifa and their Starbucks Marxist fuckwad crowd would disperse. They'd go home. Oh, there's no police brutality anymore. Things are getting better. They'd get complacent. The whole goal is constant antagonism. Find something that people think is wrong with society and then get them whipped up into a frenzy, break a few windows, and hope they go crazy. That's what they do. That's a gang. It's not necessarily terrorists, though. That's about all.
Peace out.
Peace out.
That was a really good point by Styx. That it's the yin and the yang type thing. So 20 minutes left on our upload. We'll finish up with Cornel West.
There's got to be one of the main reasons why people are out there is because they're really mad about what happened with George Floyd. They want to address police brutality, but it also goes beyond that in that our system does keep us atomized and fractured, and you see people coming to.
You'll notice Kyle Kuklinski from Secular Talk with 844,000 subscribers will never mention the words Federal Reserve and the U.S. dollar, ever.
Together for something greater than them. So it's our system doesn't give us purpose. People are creating their own purpose now and caring about something bigger than them. And it also is a manifestation of the pain and the misery and the degradation and the poverty that's out there. And Cornel West says militarism, poverty, materialism, racism, like the way our system is built, this was the logical conclusion. And then the thing that sets him apart from other commentators is that nobody's spared. Everybody's indicted. The whole system is indicted. And he's not, playing a game where he puts the blame all on the Republicans, which is, one of the things that's most common in standard Democratic circles. He says the system cannot reform itself, which means, and he laid this out beautifully. He said Black Lives Matter started under a black president with a black attorney general, and they couldn't deliver. And when he says the system can't reform itself, that's him saying direct action is the only way. Which led to, I think, his most important point, which is we're put in a situation now where it appears like it's either going to be nonviolent revolution or endless violence. So you need to set up a system that has a more democratic structure, democratic power sharing, a more democratic economy, ameliorate the extreme ills of capitalism or corporatism and give people a fair shot, give people more equal power, give people, a piece of the pie, some wealth, or you're going to see, continuous violence. So he's really making an argument here for left-wing values. And I think it's an amazing breakdown. I think it's a brilliant breakdown. And the thing that, I keep coming back to, because I see no way around it, is that, yes, the spark that led to this was George Floyd and the clear instance of police brutality.
What I don't understand is, what about the young African-American kid running through the white neighborhood who got gunned down by the hillbillies? That kid's death just got swept under the rug. To me, that one's even worse than George Floyd.
And so police brutality, in many ways, is at the center of this. But at the same time, you can't tell me that everything else isn't also feeding into the moment. Like somebody said on Twitter, the way that they're describing this in British newspapers is interesting, because they're saying it's like it's only about George Floyd. Like the stuff that's happening all across the country in all these major cities, like that's about George Floyd, period. And it's like, that doesn't really capture it. That's not it. That's a big part of it, yes. Reforming police departments, ending police brutality, bringing about justice, not just arresting these police officers or prosecuting them, finding them guilty, like that's all part of it. But don't tell me that the current state of our country doesn't also weigh into this. Don't tell me that the fact that we're in a Great Depression as we have a pandemic, don't tell me that doesn't play into it. It absolutely plays into it. It absolutely plays into it that we're going to have a mass eviction and foreclosure crisis as soon as the pandemic is officially declared over and we get back to business as usual. People can't pay the bills right now. So we have a Great Depression, we have a total economic collapse, and we don't have UBI, we don't have universal health care. Again, in a pandemic, 43 million people, up to that many, are going to lose their health care now in a pandemic. Don't tell me that doesn't play a role here. Don't tell me it doesn't play a role when you have the pandemic and an economic depression hit, but the government steps up to bail out the stock market and corporations. A $5 trillion bailout package for the wealthy with no strings attached and no oversight. At the same time that people got crumbs, a one-time $1,200 payment, and now they're asked out, now they're screwed. What now? What are they going to do?
So I will mention that Kyle Kulinski is actually off on this, that the bailouts for many industries have not taken place. There are many, many corporations that are still facing insolvency. It's not just renters who can't afford to pay their landlords. It's major corporations that can't afford to pay the banks, and there's still no backstop. So it's my prediction that in some point in June, the stock market will crash. It could be most rent is due on the 1st. Mortgage payments are due on the 1st. They're automatically deducted. Many of these corporations, the money that they have is actually being held at the bank, and the bank is going to take their money regardless, but they'll be in default. They may face foreclosure, but many hotel and real estate investment trusts have already said that they'll have to start selling properties in order to satisfy bank demands. So that's the truth. It's not just Main Street that's in a crisis. Wall Street is also still very much deeply in a crisis, and that should concern every investor and every saver who has money tied up in stocks and bonds.
It's how you get, the pent-up anger, aggression, misery, frustration. People see how disgusting and unfair and lopsided this system is. The deep income and wealth inequality, the fact that people feel like they have no chance at anything, and on top of that, police wantonly murder people. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? Of course there was going to be a backlash. Of course there was.